So talking a little bit more about gender and stuff like that. Sorry for people who've seen this already, but hopefully you can give me some good answers. All right. So this is my Act Like a Man box and my Act Like a Lady flower. So because that's kind of how we're supposed to be. So when you hear somebody say act like a man, what messages are young boys getting? Like act like a man.
Don't cry.
Don't cry. What else?
Suck it up.
Suck it up. You can just shout it out. So I encourage people to shout it out.
Be tough.
Be tough. What else? What's that? No dolls. So, how about in regards to sports? Like, what are be a man?
Tough sports like football.
So football. Go Pack. So unless you guys hate the Pack here, I don't know. So anyway, I don't want to get into that. That could be really dangerous. Other messages, like what else? Like messages that young boys get about what does it mean like to be a man. This is what a man's supposed to be. And it's not that I'm saying that we agree with all of these or disagree with all of these. I'm just trying to get some of the common messages.
Don't cry.
Oh wait, so don't cry. Somebody said something girly. What?
Don't hit the girls.
Oh, okay. Don't cry. Don't hit girls, which is always a good message. Don't hit anybody, but don't hit girls.
To pursue sex with girls.
Be sexually active and aggressive. I'm putting words in somebody's mouth, but when you say pursue, I hear aggression. So
be the dominant.
Aggressive. Do you guys get to enjoy sex?
I think so, yeah.
And enjoy it. All right. So you get the point. So we got a lot of these messages, and stuff, or certain things that you can't wear. Don't wear girly stuff or whatever else have you, and all that other stuff. So act like a lady or be ladylike. What does that mean? Be ladylike.
Wear dresses.
Dresses. All right.
Feminine. Look pretty.
Pretty. I heard feminine.
Smell pretty.
Oh yeah, smell good. What else?
Be a virgin.
Be a virgin. So, or if you've had sex, you shouldn't enjoy it, right? So, be a virgin. Right. So, what else?
Don't talk about sex.
Don't be a virgin. Don't like sex, or don't talk about it. All right. How about in the relationships, like with each other, or with other guys, or with guys? Like, just how are women supposed to act in those relationships towards each other or with other guys? What's that?
Submissive.
Be submissive. And again, this isn't something that I agree or disagree with. Well, actually, I can give you my thoughts on these later, but anyway, I'm just trying to capture them. Any other thoughts?
Be a little homemaker.
Homemaker, right?
Not necessarily in aggressive sports.
Yeah, so gymnastics. So non-aggressive sports. So all right, so you get the point, right? Right. So like these are messages that all of us, like very few of us, would have been able to escape any of these messages as we were growing up. So which shapes our thinking about what does it mean to be male or what does it mean to be female. So what gets said to a guy who does cry or doesn't suck it up or plays with dolls or doesn't like football, joins gymnastics or swimming or something like that, or So what are some of the, and I give you permission to use the words that you think people say to them. Sissy.
Yeah.
Faggot. So, yep.
Especially if they're in gymnastics, they're going to get that.
Oh, what, faggot?
Yeah.
So, yeah, or gay and stuff like that. So, sissy, faggot, gay, anything else?
Poor baby.
Wuss. What is that? Poor baby or whore baby?
Poor baby. Poor baby. P-O-O-R.
P-O-R, okay, poor.
Poor baby.
Baby, that must be regional, so I haven't heard that before. So, poor baby. Anything else?
Queer.
Queer. Sissy. You get the point, right?
Yeah.
Right. So, girls who are aggressive or assertive even, so it doesn't have to be aggressive, but who aren't necessarily pretty or pursue sex and enjoy it. Or don't dress feminine, or like I don't want to be a housemaker. What are some of the words that they get called, or names that they get called? So tomboy.
And I think boys are sweet.
It doesn't seem as bad.
What's that?
Whore.
Slut.
Slut doesn't do that. It seems
Sometimes people call them dykes. Bitch. I'm just filling in for you.
That's the one real popular around.
Right. So right. So.
Feminist.
What's that?
Feminist.
How dare you be? So, right. So reclaim that. So it's an awesome term. So, cool. All right. So we've got kind of a clue here. What physically happens to people who step outside of this box or flower? So we've talked about the verbal things. What are some of the physical things that happen to them?
Get beat up.
Beat up. What else?
Pushed.
Laughed at.
Isolated.
Snubbed. Isolated. Shunned. Raped. Physically assaulted, like, either with weapons or fists or whatever else have you. So, yeah, so a range of stuff. So, what I want you to do is I'm asking you to do something that you're never supposed to do. I want you to make some quick assumptions about the people or the person in the photos that I just gave you. What I want you to do is I want you to figure out who this person is. Talk about what they might be interested in, what they're involved in, and why I might be giving you their picture in a workshop like this tonight. So take maybe about just 2 minutes to talk about it. So hold up the picture of your person and tell me about what you've been talking about. So
We talked about Brian.
that's not Brian, that's Carl. So
we had Carl Joseph Walker Hoover. We decided that he may just play sports because he gets teased, or maybe because he likes it. We're not really sure.
How'd you know? Yep.
It was brought to our attention that he has 2 last names, so maybe he comes from a broken home and has both mom and dad's last name. We don't know that either. Otherwise, he looks very young.
What's that?
He looks very young.
He looks very young? All right, cool. So who else? One other table. Another table. Make it yours.
We don't think he's into sports.
Okay.
He's got,
What's his name?
his name is Eric
Okay.
Mohat,
Uh-huh.
and he looks very friendly.
Uh-huh.
We think he's into sciences, good student.
Mm-hmm.
I think he plays the piano.
Oh, okay.
And
Because you can see his fingers, right?
and he looks like a wonderful young man.
Cool, cool.
He makes me feel good looking at his
Looks
picture.
sweet.
Excellent. So, this table back here, who do you have?
We had David Shepard and Travis Price.
Oh, you have 2 people.
Yes.
Wow, you guys got lucky. So,
And we had a difficult time with this because on Friday we had half of the high school population wearing pink.
all right. So you noticed that they were wearing pink.
Yes,
All right.
but that doesn't mean anything.
Oh.
It really doesn't mean anything.
Right.
And I myself think that they're stepbrothers.
Oh.
And this is their mother.
Oh, okay.
Or
Sure.
something.
Sure.
And Angie thought she was a counselor.
We used to have a counselor like that.
They just look like very fun-loving boys, and my husband did have an issue with the backwards hat because he works at the Stanley prison.
Oh, that's trouble.
Thing.
So
It's
right.
a game
So
thing, you know?
right. Let me get my hat out. So
Yeah.
They're just carefree kids.
what's that?
Yeah,
Carefree
carefree
kids.
kids.
All right. Cool.
Like they like to have a good time.
Fantastic. So I'm going to tell you their stories just really quickly here. So I'm going to start with Eric, just because his story comes first. So Eric was a student in Ohio. I want to say Cantor, Ohio, but I don't think that's correct. Not into sports, although I've seen a video of him skiing. But he wasn't a very good skier either. So, but he was trying. So he was growing up. He was skinny, kind of scrawny. He got picked on for his, being kind of tall and gangly. He also got called fag a lot, and he also got called gay. And he was often, that was something that his classmates would target him, and it was something that happened over a period of time, and grew increasingly worse. And kind of didn't feel like he could engage the school with it and stuff like that, and so he kind of very quietly suffered through the tormenting that he was receiving. So until his junior year, where one day in the middle of class, I think it was math class, it might have been science class, but one of his classmates said to him in front of all of his peers and also a teacher in the classroom, Eric, why don't you just go shoot yourself? It's not like anybody would care. And so that night he went and got a gun and shot himself. So Carl Joseph Walker Hoover was 11 years old in Massachusetts. Played football, don't know if he liked it. He was a good student. He was a very loving son. His mother talks about how wonderful and loving he is. And he too became the target of anti-gay bullying. He was also teased for being good in school and stuff like that, but he too was called gay and fag, and it got worse. And then one day, after a particularly bad day, at 11 years old, he got home from school, and his mother was in the kitchen making dinner and stuff like that, and so he was up in his room. When she called him to come down for dinner, he didn't, and when she went to his room, she found that he had hung himself because things had gotten bad. I want to point out with Eric and Carl is that neither of them identified as gay. We don't know if they might be gay, because heterosexism means that we assume a person is straight until they say that they're not. And so we don't know. But what we know is that we have two young men who are dead, who got targeted with anti-gay bullying. We don't know if that's why they killed themselves, because suicide is a complex issue, and I don't want to say somebody was bullied to death, because I think it's more complex than that. But what I think we can say is that bullying adds to an atmosphere where it puts a child at greater risk, especially if they're having suicidal ideations. So, and it's not just gay students that deal with that. What we know through the National Education Association is that we know that 4 out of 5 students who are targeted with anti-gay bullying are actually straight identified. So if you are connected with a school or in a community where the school's like, we can't talk about this issue, I can guarantee you that anti-gay bullying is happening in each and every school, each and every community, because you all were able to talk about experiences that you remember growing up or whatever else have you when we were doing those talking with partners. So it's absolutely imperative that schools and communities talk about this issue, because you have students that are being targeted and are suffering with this on a day-to-day basis. David and Travis. So David and Travis are 2 seniors in Canada. I want to say Nova Scotia, but I could be wrong. I always forget certain details. But David and Travis, kind of your average high school students, both seniors. And on the very first day of school of their senior year, they noticed that there was a freshman boy who was wearing a pink shirt that was getting teased and called fag and gay by some other classmates. David, the guy in the left, so the guy in the black shirt, the less long hair, and the not backward hat. So anyway, he saw that and said, you know what, I'm a senior here, and you know what, I'm tired of this happening. And I feel like I need to do something about it, but he wasn't quite sure what. So, but he thought about it a little bit, and he connected with his friend Travis, and they hatched the plan. That night, so after they saw that happen, they went, after school, they went out and bought as many pink t-shirts as they could. They got on the phone, they got on the internet. I don't think Facebook, they might be, no, I don't know about Facebook yet, so it was a couple years ago. Who knows? But anyway, and they encouraged their friends and people that they knew to show up the next day in pink t-shirts. So that the very next day, that student who had been made to feel rejected, made to feel unsafe and unwelcome in school on the very first day of school, suddenly saw on the second day a sea of people in pink shirts saying, you belong here, we're not going to tolerate this type of behavior. And it was started by 2 students who were just kind of your average students. They weren't like necessarily the typical leaders. They were just, you can almost say that they were nobodies, but they were clearly somebody. That said, I see an opportunity to stand up for somebody that's not being treated fairly. As a result, I think either later that year, within the next year or two, the Parliament of Canada, so their elected body like our Congress, actually declared a day of pink, and all members of Parliament wore pink in honor and recognition of the actions that those 2 students took, standing up for somebody who's getting bullied because people thought he was gay. So anyway, so those are... I shared Carl and Eric's story as a way of reminding us about the broad impact of anti-gay bullying, and I also shared David and Travis's stories as an example of what students can do as well as what adults can do. It doesn't have to be somebody who's the leader, it doesn't have to be somebody who's got big stature in the community, but it takes somebody who says something's not right, I'm going to stand up.